And I want to say to the rest of the Cameroonian folks, I think we just found another Cameroonian who lived in the Twin Cities, but we didn't know that it was a Cameroonian. But this whole deal, this whole thing would have been possible if Jack didn't find it in his heart to make sure that it worked for us. And I'm just being down out honest. And he's going to talk to, we'll have a feedback later on. If Jack didn't want this to happen for the Cameroon community, it wouldn't have worked. End of story. It's not, So let's give him a real Cameroon applause and thank you. The president, the president said that, I know the building, but I don't think anybody knows the building more than Jack. And the best way to do this work, Jack, as we always did, we went this way, and then went around, and then we'll go upstairs. And there are too many rooms. There are too many areas to see. So you guys tell us, what do you want to do? You want to see every single room?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll give you the highlights. We'll give you the highlights.
Okay. So
let me just say that, as I said last week when we had the press conference, this thing, here we are in Energy Park, and I'm really pleased that the Cameroonian community are going to be a part of Energy Park, because I think you're going to bring new energy to this building, to this whole area, as you have already done in terms of bringing new energy to the Twin Cities and to Minnesota. And so we welcome you. We thank you for your involvement. We thank you for your commitment to go forward. And we, on behalf of Como Clinic Partners, the partners that have owned the building, are really pleased that we have found a user like you guys who can take this on for another 30 or 40 years and make it a wonderful spot. So thank you very much, and I'll be pleased to take you around now and show you some of the details.
Okay. All right. If we have any questions, I'm going to appeal that as you walk by and if you have any questions, if it's not too immediate, and that's what we did last week when we made it to, please hold it, and we'll come back here. We'll reconvene, and we'll talk a little bit more, okay? All right, that works?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do it.
So 3 things to be said about this building. One, it is on the historic register of, National Register of Historic Places. This was a building in which railroad cars were painted by the Northern Pacific Railroad. The cars were run in through these very big doors on the east and the west sides in an east and west manner, and then painted in here. Originally, when we took the building over in the 1980s, there was no second floor at that time. We put the second floor in. It was a big loft kind of space. And so the result is that what you're looking at, we have attempted to save that feeling of the loft space in this center atrium, which I think we all agree is a really exciting space, and it makes it possible for instance, the Cameroonian community to have subsets, just as Alina had sub-departments in different places. And so we can have different tenants and different uses in different parts of this building. But I have joked with Steve and Robert that we also have one of the finest climbing walls in Minnesota here. So if you've got some Cameroonian kids that really like to climb like what's his name? Not Monkey Man, but Spider-Man up the side of the wall there. Don't tell your insurance agent, but nevertheless. So the point is that the building itself is a wood frame building which has these very substantial wood beams and columns, but that makes it very adaptable and very usable. We can tear out these interior walls, and you'll see when you go around there are a lot of interior walls, but these can be opened up and we can develop an area for a gymnasium in the back of the building. And so the result is, I think it is eminently adaptable, eminently usable, and redevelopable by you folks. And part of the trick in the next couple of months is kind of really to work on a program and to think about, okay, now what is it we're going to want and do? And the other opportunity is that you could, in the meantime, rent out part of this space while you're growing into it. So the result is it makes for a very exciting space. I did want to pause, unless you've already done it.
Well, yeah, I was going to. There's one other gentleman that has been extremely instrumental. I said Jack was important, but before I met Jack, I met John, and it's John Manilo. He easier. But John, could you come in, please? And John is the broker. He's the person that in fact, John, if John didn't believe my story, he wouldn't have told it to Jack. Okay? And then if John was very patient with us, and in fact, when I was done talking to John, John was like, would you like to see the building? I said, hell yeah. He said, I'll make myself available anytime you guys want to come in. So both these guys have been extremely, extremely flexible, allowing us to, So he's the guy who gave us the first tour, and then came back, and Jack, both of them know this building back and forth. So I just thought it was necessary. And when we told them that we were going to meet with the Cameroon group, and they said, do you want to come? I said, hell yeah. We'd like our Cameroonians to meet you. And, for us to not only say thank you very much, but also, remember I told you about our beautiful Cameroon family that we had, how enthusiastic, how beautiful the women looked, and how handsome the men. Here you are. And this is Cameroon in miniature. This is the country in Africa that other African countries wanted to be like. Okay, so here we are. We have the Cameroonian community here, as they will still be coming in. Okay, so we're going to go with the tour.
Okay, so we'll take some more, and in fact, we might even break this up, and John can take a part, and I can take a part as we get a little crowded as we go through some of the back corridors.
Okay.
Okay. As you know, this was a medical clinic, and it's been a medical clinic for 30 years, so there are a lot of examining rooms, and after you've seen a few of the examining rooms, you say, I've done that, seen that, and you've been to examining rooms yourself, and so the result is that there is a lot of that kind of thing. But in addition, we'll walk you around, and you'll get to feel some of how the space works and how adaptable this place could be. So let's take a walk to the right, and we'll go up to the north end here. We'll start first in the laboratory area. I won't bother to take you in. There's a room in there right behind over here where the MRI machine was. It has been taken out, so now it's essentially just a big empty room. But we'll walk through the laboratory area, counter space and that, and then take a look by the utility area, and then we'll come out and walk around through the ground floor and probably go upstairs. Okay. So let's take but I think what we can do is, I say, I'll take the first bunch through the lab area, and then John, you can kind of grab the second bunch, and then we'll kind of split.
Okay. You want to show Jack? I'll show you. This group here, let's go with John.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
You want to start the other
Let's
direction?
yeah. Okay. Everybody's going to say something, so it doesn't matter.
I didn't hear what Jack, did he describe to you this part of the building?
You got to go ahead.
The building was built in 1900 by the Great Northern Railroad. It was renovated in 1982 and made into a clinic by Jack Heschler and his partners. Now, in 1982, this building was just a wide open barn. What they used to do in here is they would paint railroad cars. And there was tracks that would come right into the building and go right out the other side into the next building. And so everywhere you see the windows or the doors is where the tracks ran. So this is what we had. This very high atrium here was restored in 1982. It was like that in 1900. And you can see all the wood that is makes up the beams that hold up the building. They were all grown in the northwest of this country, in Washington State and Oregon. It's called Douglas fir. And J.J. Hill, who owned the railroad company, his next-door neighbor on Summit Avenue was Fred Weyerhaeuser, who owned all the lumber out west. That's where the lumber came from. We can go through the building. You can see there are a lot of little exam rooms, and every room has a sink. So there's lots of sinks, lots of bathrooms, because it was a clinic. So probably what you're going to have to do with the building is to take some of those rooms out, take some of the plumbing out, save some of it, and redesign it to how you want to use it. But it's a lot easier to take plumbing out than to put it in, so it's probably not too big a job. Let's go. Let's start walking through this direction. Steve.
And when you guys, as we're walking through, you guys, when you see the buildings, you see all these columns. Everybody does know that the columns, you can't take them apart. Okay, columns stay. Okay, the walls can go. Okay, the columns and all these trusses, they are all structure for structure. So those we cannot take apart. But the walls